In anticipation of her upcoming album, I have been listening to Rae Jepsen. When that moment occurred, what did she mean by this lyric? Which then got me thinking about AI. With a human artist, you get to wonder things like, what is the author's intent within this song? Why would you write it like this? What is the effect of making it in this way versus a different way? I mean, will you get those answers? Probably not. But you do know there is like one or more author, producer, creator of this piece. You know that there is likely a context, place, and that it's informed by life experience. With something that's AI generated, you don't know who made this, you don't know what texts it's pulling from, and you can't place it anywhere. You can't look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is exactly when XYZ was going on in the world, or this is when this person was post-divorce but pre something something. Art has history. It's informed by current or past events. It creates history. The whole point of art is being able to understand the context around it. Sometimes when you remove a piece from its environment, you're like, well, why is this important? A lot of things only make sense if you know like the why, the how, the when, and that's when it becomes really interesting and juicy and or even gossipy and dramatic. With an AI generated piece, it becomes mangled because it's essentially pulling from different places, it's blended, it's intent, context, history, place is muffled. You can't analyze or trace or pinpoint certain things about it, and it's hard to learn from. So if you like to study things, try to figure out how a thing was made, maybe reverse engineer it or utilize some of its techniques in your own work, AI generated stuff is bad data to be working off of. Whether you're listening to something, watching something for like scholarly purposes, or even just personally, you want to know what's going on when this person wrote this song, or like, ooh, which X is this? You can't, because it's not a real text. And people are always going to want to do this. You're going to see a movie and think, what was he trying to say? Look at a collection of poems or paintings and try to piece together what era of this person's life they're in. But with AI, when you're asking, well, what did you mean by this? There is no you, and there's not really a mean by this because there wasn't clear, coherent intent. Even if you have a person prompting the piece, the song, whatever, they probably just wanted sounds good, is catchy, or poetic lyrics, yearning but pop, like vibes, images of this and that. But that's not it's not psychologically sound. Like, you know, when you're reading a book and everything clicks because like, oh, this is a real person. These are all the pieces of someone that you can recognize in real life. And B, when you're pulling from a bunch of different sources, then a lot of things get watered down or they start to feel uncanny. And I've definitely fallen for AI music before, but you can always tell when something is human made because it's messy and it's really specific, sometimes embarrassingly honest. Humans are self-contradicting. Like, we don't always make sense. And this is what makes humans really beautiful, very cool and cute, or very terrifying, and I will never understand. Some of the strangest choices that people make in life and art are some of the most memorable. People just have desires and behaviors that aren't wise, but are sometimes necessary or unavoidable as part of the whole experience of living. We do weird stuff, but it's true and relatable and human. But back to Rae Jepsen, because the way that she makes music is so interesting and distinctive, it sparks a lot of conversation. For example, my partner, who is actually the real Rae Jepsen fan, recalls people talking online about how she has this ability to sing about love, write about the experience of love, but not necessarily in a way where it's like, I'm in love. Whereas some artists, you can tell this is kind of confessional, this is them and their life. With Carly, you can tell that she's using herself as the mechanism. So she will say like, call me or I want, but it's not actually about her. It's about the greater general subject of being in love or wanting love or being heartbroken. And that's a deliberate choice she made. Recently, I was listening to one of her songs and I realized there are creepy keys in this song. Like, it is a pop song and it also has a layer of scary, eerie keys. Why? Carly Rae Jepsen's distinctive style is also how you end up with essays like this. Or I think he wrote another one called Carly Rae Jepsen and the Kingdom of Desire. And in the process of doing a little digging for this video, I also found an entire Instagram dedicated to the unified theory of Carly Rae Jepsen music. There is no way that you could dedicate an entire Instagram and YouTube podcast series to analyzing AI generated music. You cannot write essays on this. You cannot do journalism on this or cultural critique because it's not culture. It regurgitates existing culture, but it doesn't make new culture. And this reminds me of a 2004 Disney Channel original movie, Pixel Perfect, where we have Loretta, who is a hologram and computer generated, who is made up of bits of people. So the dude grabs one person's nose, someone else's shoulders, or like celebrity's hair. And that's how Loretta was made. She's kind of everyone and no one. What's cool about the movie is it does touch on Loretta's experience of being in the state she's in, created this way. It gets really tender. But anyway, she is flawless. But because she's derived from already existing people, or at least their features, she is ununique and sadly forgettable. Even when I was recalling this movie, I remember the human female protagonist, but I couldn't really remember what Loretta looked like, except for her outfits, which were really good. All that to say, this isn't new information. We all knew there are costs to using shortcuts. There are costs to plagiarizing and pulling from other people's work. Worst of all, we're paying for it in environmental, psychological, emotional, spiritual, and many other all ways.